All right. Welcome to calculus. What is calculus? So we're going to jump right into the book. Again, we'll be posting the general information and everything on Schoology. I think I still have to post that. Yeah, I still haven't put up our virtual learning thing yet. There's the general resources for everything, but I have not put our, oh, read me first is at the bottom. That's weird. I will finish putting everything up in Schoology for this class. I was focusing on some other things and that didn't get up there, but I'll let you know all those things as we need to. So we are going to kind of jump in and talk about what is calculus. And we have a couple of things to chat about. Today's, we're going to be done pretty quick. So then you can unmute and ask questions if you need to. So we are learning to do the calculus. We'll be successful when we learn what calculus is. And what is it used for? I have a video link there if you're curious about what are some other ways it can be used. But we're not going to watch it because it's like a 25-minute video. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to worry about that right now, but basically, like we started looking at calculus last year. So let's think about that. So what calculus stuff did we explicitly do last year? Area under the curve, which we started in chapter 3. Again, it's using rectangles to approximate that area was a big idea. Later on, we did trapezoids to approximate the area. That was part of chapter 13 right at the end of the year. But the big idea with all of those is that it was approximations. And we tried to make all the widths equal. We don't have to, but we tried to because it made it easier for what our goal was at the time. In chapter 2, we started looking at limits, but we didn't really say the word limit. But we've really dealt with them in chapter 7 is when we explicitly started dealing with them. Derivatives. We started in chapter 1 dealing with rates because that's really what derivatives allow us or give us, their rates. But then we dealt with that. We learned more about in chapter 7 and chapter 13 what derivatives are. Trig identities are used in calculus. We don't use them all the time. We use them mostly for the occasional derivation of something, but they are not used all the time. Unit circle, kind of in pre-calc, it's just expected it's a thing you know and can readily access. And by readily access, I don't mean pull out the sheet, but you should actually just know it and be able to use it whenever it's invoked. Truthfully, everything we did in some way was needed for calculus. Now, some of it you're not going to see because it may not be in Calc 8B. Some of them might be for Calc BC. Like several things were like parametric function or polar functions when we did those at the end of the year a little bit. They're going to use that a lot more in BC. They're vectors, which we did right at the end or beginning, end of semester 1 and beginning of semester 2. I think it was the end of semester 1 we did those. That we won't deal with a whole lot in AB, but they will in BC a bit. All of it in some way was needed for calculus. Just some of it was just skills, like all the algebra. A lot of those algebraic skills will be used in calc at some point. Maybe not right away, but they will be used at some point. All right, so let's calculate stuff that we did last year. What are we gonna do this year? So this is our general plan for the year. Things may change, especially once we get logged into Google Class, or not to Google Classroom, AP Classroom and do some stuff. Chapter 1 is gonna look pretty much as, like, chapter 1's gonna look just the way it has been for us. But we're gonna look at limits in chapter 1. We're gonna spend a lot of time on limits. We're trying something a little bit different this year. So we're gonna spend, instead of just like a week or two, we're gonna spend a lot more time on limits and see what that does for folks. Because yeah, we're gonna do that. Chapter 2 in the book we have is derivatives. Chapter 3 is applications of derivatives. Chapter 4 is integration. Chapter 5 is logs and exponentials. Chapter 6 is applications of integration. Now we're going to probably try to follow the AP, where is it? The AP units, which are limits and continuity, differentiation, contextual applications of differentiation, analytical applications, integration. Yeah, there's 8 units there. And once we get you into AP Classroom, you'll be able to see that and kind of figure all that out. But that's, oh geez. So these are the chapters in the book we're gonna use, but we will probably be doing some other things as well in addition to. Alrighty? Boom. So we are still waiting for more information exactly how that's gonna work for the AP test, but I'm assuming that based on what we did last year, that we're gonna be signing up for the AP test in November. And at this point, you should all plan to take the AP test. As things get closer, we'll talk and chat and you'll have a better idea about what to be expecting for that, but you should plan to take it. Because if you're like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to take it, and you don't sign up for it, you don't have another shot to sign up for it later. So you should plan to take it. Something that I jumped over, but I'm gonna come back to, no matter what happens in this course, no matter what happens, you're learning and everything, and all this stuff that comes up to it, you take the test and you get a score. You are not your score. You are more than a number, okay? So no matter what you get, whether you receive a 5 and full credit to pretty much every university in the nation, or you get a 3, which is some, or you get less than a 3, whatever, you are not your score. You will know a lot of calculus by the time you're done with this class. And no matter what score you get on the AP test, you still know calculus. So be aware of that, embrace that, and know that it's gonna all be all right. Something to think about, and you might not know, you may not be accepted to any colleges yet. I know some of you are still applying. As you're applying to colleges and getting accepted and all that super fun stuff, start looking at what does your college need on the test, okay? What does your college need for you on the test in order to give you credit? So it's something that you're gonna wanna make sure you look into and figure out as things go along. Alrighty? Cool. Calculator savvy. So hopefully you still have a graphing calculator from last year. If you don't, you might be able to get away with not having one. If you do have one, try to use it as much as possible. I don't know what the AP test is going to look like yet. We're still waiting on more information. I think AP is still trying to decide what they want to do. I have some more information to share with you later this week, and I will share it with you later this week. That's kind of what I have right now. But calculator savvy, generally, if you have your own physical graphing calculator, learn how to use it. Make sure, learn a bunch of little tricks and things. If you go to my website, which is linked on your Infinite Campus, there's a sheet that says graphing calculator information sheet. On there's a whole bunch of different things that I've shown you how to do. I don't think I added the calculus stuff in there yet. I'll make a note that I'm gonna do that. Boom. Made a note, it will happen. I'm gonna make it so. Yeah, so those are things for preparing for the AP test. Syllabus, I'm not gonna spend any time on the syllabus because we got about 15 or 12 minutes left. You can read on your own. Basically the syllabus says, do your work, turn things in. Yeah, that's that. Also, are you in our Discord? If not, you should be. Again, last spring, we used Discord to kind of chat and do some stuff. Please join this Discord as well. This Discord is for this year's calculus kids, and that's for everyone in Calc AB and everyone in Calc BC. So it's not even just my students, but it's for my students and Mr. Weimer's students. It's all of us together. So there's going to be about 50 or so of us in the server, which is going to be great because we can answer each other's questions, we can talk and this and that. So if you haven't done that, please get in that, because that's going to be the most efficient method to get a question answered by either myself, Mr. Weimer, or a classmate. And you'll see kind of how it all looks when you get back there. Especially if you join in the spring, it's going to look familiar. When you rejoin, it'll be great. Yeah, I just added a README first in Schoology about how to join the Discord again, if you don't recall. But again, here's the link if you want to use that to go join the Discord, and I would highly recommend that you do. Okay, that's basically it. So what is calculus? I'm gonna let you read about that. So for your first assignment, read section 1.1. So I want you just to look at the book and read section 1.1. Part of your assignment every time when we have an assignment is to read through the section. Because I'm not covering everything that there is in the section, and often I'm going to do things that aren't in that section. But I want you to read it so you can see what other information is there. There's other examples and things that I'm not going to do, but I want you to see that. I want you to have that resource, and I want you to see that resource. Also, I want you to practice reading the college level textbook. So please do that. Your assignment is in section 1.1 in your book that you should have is 1 through 8, 10, and 11. I'm going to put a assignment up in Schoology for you to submit that. I prefer you submitting things through Schoology because I think it's easier for me. I can see it all. I also have some guidelines for submitting things in Schoology. Last year I had you mostly just take pictures and submit those, which is fine, but it's easier for me if you submit them as PDFs. So I have a document that I'm going to share with you as soon as we're done with this about how to take your things, turn them into PDFs and submit them that way. The reason I like the PDF is that when I look at the PDF, I don't have to click on multiple things to see multiple pages. I don't think this one will take you multiple pages. I think it'll take you 1 page and that's it. Yeah, that's kind of what I have for you. What questions do you have at this point? If you have a question, you can either put it in the chat, which I'm opening for myself right now. So you can either put a question in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
When is the first section due?
As soon as you get it done.
Okay.
So yeah, a big thing with Calc is kind of like I try to give you flexibility with when things are turned in pre-Calc. Yeah, a little bit more so in Calc. It's get it done. When's the last day to turn it in? End of the quarter. Like I say that jokingly, but also serious. It's going to be better for you to try to get it done as soon as you can, because normally what we would do in Calc, the way we have it set up is some days we talk for a little bit and then there's a bunch of work time in class. We're not getting that work time in class, so you're going to be doing your work time outside of class. Oh, look at that. Okay. So we won't have that time inside of class anymore. So just kind of, as you have time, get it done, send me messages, talk with me, all this stuff, and we'll kind of work things out. But basically get it done as soon as you can. Try to talk to other people in class. You can kind of see who's on your list. Just join, or just try to talk to people. Like, I don't care if you collaborate. You should collaborate and talk. Call people up, message them, talk to them on Discord, like whatever you need to do. Is that helpful?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions?
Are summatives going to be the same format as like what it was at the end of last year?
That is a great question. Summatives are going to, there's a lot of different, we're working on a couple different ideas for how summatives are going to look. They're not going to be exactly the way that I did them at the end of pre-calc where there were like section summatives, but we are going to try to still hit a summative about every 3 weeks or so, just to make sure that we hit our criteria. Sometimes those will be like quizzes on AP Classroom. Sometimes they'll be creating something, submitting a particular assignment. There's still a lot up in the air about that. Mr. Weimer and I are going to be doing almost the same thing for those. In fact, when I say almost the same thing, we will be doing the same thing. We just have to talk and discuss and figure out exactly how that looks. We have about 2.5 weeks before that first summative. So that first summative is either going to be a quiz, or you're going to create like an infographic describing something. But I'm hoping to do more than just quizzes and tests to help you demonstrate your knowledge in some other ways.
Sounds good.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for both those questions, by the way. What other questions do you have?
Is there an online textbook for this class like there was last year, or should we just use the physical one?
There is not an online textbook. Your textbook is older than you are. And the edition that you have is older than you are. These are, I think, 22 years old now. These do not have an ebook. So you have to use the physical one.
Okay.
That is also a good question. At some point, we'll get new books and have ebooks again, but it ain't this year. Hopefully next year. All right. If that's it, I think I'm going to end our meeting and give you a little extra time to just kind of get started reading and working on that first assignment. Again, as you have questions, post or send messages and things in the Discord. If you want to send me private messages in Discord, that's also fine. But if it's questions about content, post it in the AB channel so that everyone can benefit. If you have content questions, I'm going to try to make sure I'm really particular about, hey, go to the channel, post it there. Because if you have the question, other people have the question too. And you can respond to each other and you can all learn from each other. Virtual collaboration is going to be different than physical collaboration. So, but we're going to get used to it. So, is what it is.
Is the Discord open like all day and then during like that like after school period, or is it just like open during the class period?
Discord is open all the time, all the time. I have it on I have the app downloaded on my phone as well. So you pretty much have, within reason, like 24-hour access to myself. I don't know if Mr. Weimer has it on his phone, but I know that both of us are pretty, what's the word? We're quick to respond. Usually one of us is quick to respond. If I usually get the notification anytime someone posts, oh geez. So I will try to respond pretty quickly. It's a faster response time than if it was email. Let me say it like that. But it's open all day long. All righty. Any other questions? All righty. This is about as big as our group's going to be. We have, I think, 14 people in the class altogether. As things keep going, I might ask if y'all want to combine with the MZ cohort just so that we can just do it all at once. Maybe we can have a longer session or whatever. I'm not saying we have to. It's an idea I want to throw out there because we have 14 people in this class. And splitting it up, we're at like 6 and 8 or something like that. I don't know. But that way, maybe we have more opportunities for doing stuff, or we can do longer, more involved activities together. I don't know. Just thoughts. We don't have to do that, but it's something I'm thinking about, and I don't think we're going to change anything in the first 2 weeks because I don't want to change anything before and get yelled at right away. So I think that's all I got for you, unless anyone else has any other questions. And I don't see anything in the chat, and I don't see anyone unmuted. All righty, folks. So to recap, join Discord, read section 1.1, do the assignment for section 1.1. I'm going to go, as soon as I end this, I'm going to go put up that assignment in Schoology so you know where to submit it. And also put the guidelines for submitting stuff up there as well. That's all I got for you. I'll have more on Thursday. All right, see you later, folks.